India's precision strikes across terror hubs in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir under Operation Sindoor killed over 100 terrorists. These terrorists belong to Pakistan-based terror groups such as Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. Some of these names were India's most wanted. During a briefing in New Delhi on Saturday, India's Director General of Military Operations said that those killed include high-value targets such as Yusuf Azhar, Abdul, Malik, Rauf and Mudasir-e-Ahmed. The terrorists were involved in the hijack of IC-814 and Pulwama blast.
I have no doubt in my mind that we achieved total surprise, and those strikes across those 9 terror hubs left more than 100 terrorists killed, including high-value targets such as Yusuf Azhar, Abdul, Malik, Rauf and Mudasir-e-Ahmed that were involved in the hijack of IC-814 and the Pulwama blast.
Yusuf Azhar, the brother of Jaish-e-Mohammed Chief Maulana Masood Azhar, was wanted in connection with the IC-814 hijacking case, which resulted in Masood Azhar's release in 1999. He played a key role in the terror group's operations, overseeing weapons, training and actively participating in several terrorist attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. Abdul Malik Rauf was a high-ranking commander of the terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Taiba and was designated a global terrorist by the United States. Mudasir-e-Ahmed was a senior Lashkar operative and was in charge of Markaz-Taiba in Muridke, the terrorist outfit's headquarters. Now, the DGMO said that the Operation Sindoor set into motion scanning of the terror landscape across the border and then the identification of terror camps and training sites. He stated that Operation Sindoor was conceptualized with a clear military aim to punish the perpetrators and planners of terror and to destroy their terror infrastructure. This is the first time India has struck at terror camps inside Pakistan. It has also raised the question, is this the only way to punish the perpetrators of terror hiding in Pakistan? And to discuss more, we are being joined by Lieutenant General Raj Shukla. He is an expert on strategic military affairs. Thank you so much for joining us, Lieutenant General.
Thank you. Great pleasure.
Now, let me just begin by asking you, we know that there is an understanding of new normal now between India and Pakistan. I want to ask you, is this new normal the only way of deterrence towards Pakistan? This new normal where we've announced that there's a cost that is going to raise when it comes to terror. How do you assess this new normal?
You know, to assess this new normal, it would be useful to go back a little in time. So let's go back to the time of the Parliament attack, the attack on the Kaluchak military station, even 26/11. After which we did precious little, at least in terms of the use of the military. So I'll just capture for you the mood of the times by a prominent commentator who said, the time has come not for an eye, not a tooth for a tooth, but for one eye, both the eyes, for a tooth, the whole jaw. This was the wide popular mood. A prominent politician mocked our Air Force by saying, कि साहब आपके जहाज जो है ना वो ग्वालियर से उड़ते हैं और अमृतसर में लैंड कर जाते हैं. They do nothing. This was how the instrument of force was being mocked. And Mr. KPS Gill gave some professional advice. He said that you will not win the war on terror merely by running after terrorists, which is what we have been doing for the last 2 to 3 decades. He said you will win the war by overwhelming the adversary. Now, Operation Sindoor has converted the what shall I say, the sensibilities of that frustration, the wisdom of KPS Gill into a strategic reality through a very fine-tuned, if I may say, brilliantly executed military strike. We have rediscovered the utility of force against grave provocation. And may I also just point out one more thing. Look at this obnoxious piece of statecraft that the Pakistanis had crafted. They said, listen, under a nuclear umbrella, just because we have nuclear weapons, we will go on a terror rampage. Terror rampage, kill innocents, communal terror, religious targeting, gun down fathers before their children, turn funerals, turn honeymoons into funerals. I mean, this is bestiality of the worst kind. And the Pak army and the ISI was complicit. Let's see what happened after Pahalgam. Whom do you talk to? Pakistani elite opinion makers said this was a false flag operation. The DG ISPR says that we have fired missiles from Adhampur to Amritsar. I mean, are we mad? Is this the kind of stuff we are going to dialogue with? So with such a kind of establishment, the only way to engage is through the instrument of force, because that is the only language that they understand. Even when we did that, we confined ourselves to terror targets, because we are a professional military, we are a calibrated military, we have precision strike capacities with us, and we sent another message. But when they responded and ran into our AD wall, this time we struck at their air bases in Lahore, in Sialkot, Noor Khan, Shunia, and we once again showed them that kindly don't underestimate the might of the Indian military, Bharat and Bharatiyata, the power and purpose of India. So that is the larger message, and the instrument of force is just one small part of it. So I think it's a red letter day for India. If 1971 was the liberation war, this is the war on terror, and I think there is a reason to be triumphant.
Right. And that, sir, that leads me to ask you, now, India's defense officials, they briefed us on the operation. They said that they hit these terror targets and about 100 terrorists were killed. On the other hand, Pakistan counterpart said they actually call these terrorists as party workers. How long do you think it will take Pakistan to actually come in terms with the fact that this was indeed a terror target, and will this new normal help us achieve that?
Of course it will. Next time the Pak army and the ISI thinks of sending some terrorists across, they will think twice or four times. They will postpone the idea about 3 years, 4 years, because they know that this is a different India now. If you continue with terror, you will face India's conventional might. It's a Hobson's choice. You make it. But let me ask you, what option does India have? Is it not incumbent upon the Indian state to protect its citizens? Should we let innocents get massacred in this gruesome manner? And it's going on for the last 20 years. Pakistan is a pariah state, a terror state. And one reason is that the military there, look at India, what a brilliant democracy. A professional military that submits to political control but executes with clinical precision. Pakistan, a blundering military which mocks political control. So unless the international community gets the core democratic principle right, which is that the military must submit to political control and it must not be allowed to run rogue, this kind of nonsense will continue. And if it continues, India, not only the military instrument, but will leverage all the levers in its statecraft to make sure that it seizes. This is a new India. It's a strong India. It will not tolerate nonsense, either in terms of terror or blundering statecraft.
Absolutely. Now, as you said, India has been extremely adamant and saying that this is, of course, the terror that India has been against.
We've also been restrained all these years, remarkably restrained.
Absolutely.
I mean, what would you expect of the government? What options do they leave the government? So this is a terror pariah state, but it's a pest. We have better things to do. There is China and other stuff. Pakistan is just a mere pest. Its economy is not larger than the market cap of Reliance. Its foreign exchange reserves are $6 billion, ours are $700 billion. They must please see the reality.
Yes.
See the reality and the complete lack of wisdom in what they do. Actually, the problem is that their military and the ISI, they are strategically obtuse. They are men of low-level cunning. They have no strategic wisdom. That is the problem.
Right, and that leads me to the question, because you mentioned the economy. IMF just gave out a $1 billion bailout. I want to understand from you, after this new normal, how do you assess, or how do you look at how the international community is going to look at this? U.S. tried to take credit for the whole ceasefire thing, which India said it was a bilateral one on behalf of India and Pakistan was the one who reached first. Pakistan also gave credit to Saudi. How do you think the international community is looking at this new normal now, and how is India now looking at the global stage?
My reading is a little different. If you go back to the declaration of General Asim Munir of 16th April, it was a dog whistle for the Terror Act. And he thought he will turn the spotlight on Kashmir. He's ended up turning the spotlight on Pakistan as a pariah state. I've read the statements of Mr. Trump, Mr. G.D. Vance, Mr. Hegseth, and all of them have said that we support India in its fight against terror. That is unequivocal. The Russians, Mr. Putin had a very fruitful conversation with Prime Minister Modi. The Israelis with us. There is global disgust with terror. Pakistan must realize they do their own cause a great deal of harm. They do their own cause a great deal of harm. And when they, sprout nonsense like this is a false flag operation, it is deeply insensitive. Are Indians mad that we go killing our own people? So, it's a nation you can't dialogue with. I think the international community is largely persuaded. As far as that $1 billion loan is concerned, in India, 3 industrialists in Bombay and Chennai will raise it in half a day. So $1 billion is nothing for us.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lieutenant General Raj Shukla, for joining and giving your perspective on this.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Great.